Hey, Chiefs Kingdom, we're road tripping our way to 30,000 subscribers here on the Chiefs Report. But before we get there, we got to hold off Philadelphia Eagles now, who are also a road trip into 30,000 subscribers. We've got a nice little lead, but I want to beat Thomas Mott and Eagles now to 30K. So help us get there. If you want daily Chiefs videos, go ahead and subscribe right now. You're watching the Chiefs Report by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Harrison Graham. Hope everybody is having a wonderful Friday, and I hope you have a great weekend as well. Let's get you guys caught up on the latest Chiefs news and rumors. Let's talk about a former Chiefs player. That would be one Tyrann Mathieu, who remains unsigned in NFL free agency. He opened up for the first time about publicly acknowledging that he would not return to the Chiefs, and actually pretty emotional about it. Said that he was heartbroken when he found out that they would not be bringing him back, and even said he probably would have taken the deal that Justin Reid ended up getting, which was 3 years and $31.5 million. Here's Honey Badger talking about this situation. Quote, "Bro, I was depressed, heartbroken. I could not understand it. I could not, man. To be honest, if they would have offered me Justin Reid's deal, obviously I would have tried to negotiate, but if that's where they drew the line in the sand, I probably would have took it. Look, you guys know this. I know this. NFL fans know this. Chiefs Kingdom knows this. Tyrann Mathieu, Honey Badger, he's an emotional guy. On the field, off the field. This is a guy who's been through a lot in his life. A lot of triumphs he's had to overcome, and he has. And he wanted to return to Kansas City, and for whatever reason, the Chiefs decided we're going to go in a new direction and go out and get Justin Reid. Now, maybe Kansas City just didn't think Tyrann Mathieu would take that contract, but he claims that he might have done that. You compare the two guys on what they did a year ago. I mean, Honey Badger had a better year than Justin Reid, despite Tyrann Mathieu not having the best year of his career. I mean, 2019 and 20 were certainly better, but the raw numbers tell you that he was better than Reid last year. And I would even say that I still think Honey Badger is a better player than Justin Reid. That being said, Justin Reid is younger. By year 2 or 3 of the contract, maybe he's the better player by then as well. There's a lot of things that factor into these things, but it's tough, right? Because this guy has been critical for this defense's success and this team's success. I don't think this team wins a Super Bowl without him coming in here in 2019 and changing the culture on that side of the football. But this is sports, right? These are things that happen. It sucks to see him gone, but that's reality. Tyrann Mathieu has accepted it, but it's been something that's been difficult for everyone involved. Now pick a safety. Who would you rather have if the money was equal, which Tyrann Mathieu says he would have taken that deal. Type TM for Tyrann Mathieu, type JR for Justin Reid. Who would you rather have if all things were equal? I think it's a fair question. Let us know down in the comments. DK Metcalf trade rumors continue to circulate, and ESPN released an article of 7 teams making kind of fake trade offers. Their beat reporters for each of these 7 teams put out an offer, including the Chiefs reporter, Adam Teicher of ESPN.com. Chiefs, one of the teams involved, like I mentioned. And, of course, since trading away Tyreek Hill, Kansas City has been linked to numerous wide receiver rumors, including to DK Metcalf, and for good reason, because there's thought that he could be available, and he's an absolute beast. He's young, and this is the type of aggressive move that Brett Veach has been known to make, right? I mean, he's made aggressive trades in the past, and going out and getting a guy who has 29 touchdowns in 3 seasons, that's certainly appealing for a lot of teams, and I think he'd be an absolute beast in Kansas City. I love DK Metcalf. I like his skill set, his ability to run the deep routes and be physical and yards after the catch. He's really good. He is a really good player, and he would be a beast here. So here was the DK Metcalf trade idea from ESPN. Pretty simple. 1st and a 3rd round pick for DK, 30 overall and 103 overall for Metcalf. Quite frankly, I'd probably do this trade. Would you? Let us know down in the comments. Type Y for yes, type in for no. Would you do this trade? And keep in mind, you would have to extend DK on, probably well over $20 million per year. Would you do this trade for Metcalf? Let's go from one wide receiver to the next. That is, of course, Jalen Tolbert, the wide receiver out of South Alabama. ESPN released an article of where wide receiver draft prospects could fit best, and they named Tolbert as the target for the Kansas City Chiefs. He has upside as a speedy weapon. He's been moving up draft boards. And, if the Chiefs don't take a receiver in round 1, drafting one in round 2 could certainly be a possibility. Here's ESPN's Matt Bowen on Tolbert to the Chiefs. Quote, with Tyreek Hill now in Miami, the Chiefs have Juju Smith-Schuster as a physical slot presence, Marquez Valdez-Scantling to stretch the field. Now let's give Patrick Mahomes another target with Tolbert, an easy mover with clean route-running traits. He's smooth, fluid, and has the sudden ability to set up defensive backs. I fully expect Kansas City to draft the receiver in one of the first 2 rounds. 2 picks in round 1, 2 picks in round 2. I'd be shocked if they didn't spend at least one of those picks on a receiver in this NFL draft, because it's a deep draft for a receiver. If you don't like any of the options at 30 or 31 or don't want to trade up, drafting Tolbert at 62 could make a lot of sense. He's had a lot of production his last couple of years in college at South Alabama. 2020 had almost 1,100 yards and 8 touchdowns, 17 yards per catch. Last year, 82 catches for almost 1,500 yards and 8 more scores, 18 yards per catch. He's a big play weapon, still growing as a player. Obviously, the level of competition from South Alabama to the NFL will be a bit of an adjustment, but he's got the physical skill set and the tools to pull it off if he wants to. Today's show is sponsored by BetUS, and hey, if you want to get going and bet on some NBA playoff games, Major League Baseball, the Royals won their opener. You can go bet on them at chatsports.com/ChiefsBet. Promo code Chiefs125 to get a 125% deposit bonus. You look at the AFC West odds right now. Kansas City still the favorites at plus 160, but things have certainly tightened up. Chargers plus 250, Broncos plus 275. The Raiders all the way down at plus 600. A bit surprised by that, but I would put them at in 4th in the pecking order, although I do think it could be fairly close. We'll see what happens this year. It's going to be a fun AFC West. Chatsports.com/ChiefsBet. Promo code Chiefs125 if you want to go bet on who wins this division. You look at this depth chart. We've talked about DK Metcalf. We talked about Jalen Tolbert. Tolbert wouldn't come in here and be wide receiver 1. I think Metcalf would. But I still think you need another weapon after Juju, Hardman, Valdez-Scantling. You need more guys on this offense, even if it's just one guy. DK, you had him, you're good. You don't need a ton more pieces. Maybe round out a guy, later in the draft to be your wide receiver 4 or 5. But you'd be set at that point in time. Tolbert, he'd probably be like a wide receiver 3 as a rookie with the hopes of grooming him to being a wide receiver 2. Now, name a wide receiver that you want the Chiefs to draft this year. Not trade for, not sign, but go ahead and select in the NFL draft. Let us know down in the comments, and be sure to subscribe to the Chiefs Report.